While broke people complain about their SNAP benefits expiring at the cash register, politicians are enjoying their vacation away from work while our president focuses on building a new ballroom attached to the White House. In this video, we're going to sit down together and spend some time discussing this whole government assistance debacle, as well as continue the discussion surrounding this current government shutdown. And if you personally can relate to anything discussed in this video, or you just simply have been enjoying my daily Doomer commentaries over here on the page, then don't forget to like, comment your thoughts, opinions down below, and subscribe to see my daily Doomer commentaries right here on the channel. And a huge shout out to a handful of you guys checking out those links down below in the description. Those are always some of the best ways to support me and the content around here. Now, let's begin this shit show.
Every single person in this country benefits from food stamps, even if you yourself don't receive them. And if you don't believe me, here's a story about Mary. She gets $150 in SNAP benefits every single month. She spends $50 of that at Diane's farm every month getting fresh produce. It's great. She gets good food, Diane gets an income. But next month, benefits are cut off. So Mary can't go to the stand. But it's not just Mary that can't go. It's the 50 other families that also use their SNAP benefits at Diane's. So now 50 families plus Mary aren't getting fresh food. And Diane has lost out on thousands of dollars of income, which is absolutely catastrophic as a small local farmer. She was going to use that money to replace the tractor that broke down so that she could keep farming. So now she literally can't keep farming. So she's not only not providing food to families on SNAP, she's not able to provide food to the community at large. And the person who was going to sell her that tractor, he was going to get a commission. And what was he planning to use that commission for? To pay for his mother's health insurance that she just lost. She needs medication every single month. And so now she has to scrape together whatever penny she has to try to pay for her medication, which means she can't get the mold in her apartment repaired, which means the repair person she was going to pay, she can't come in and do the repair. So she's lost out on income too. And the store that the repair person goes to buy things to make the repairs, they're seeing declining sales because people are making less repairs. So the store has less repairs, the repair person has less work, the mom doesn't have health insurance, he hasn't made a sale, she doesn't have a tractor, food isn't being made, people on SNAP aren't eating. Do you not see how it's all connected? Even if you don't have a shred of integrity that says, oh, I just want people to have food, I just want people to eat. Do you not see how it's all, even if you don't have it in you to care about people just having food, can you at least see how programs like SNAP being shut down literally do?
Now, as much as many people claim that living off the government feels like a free ride, it definitely doesn't feel as such when they take away the benefits and now you're left stranded wondering what to do. And when you really do rely on these means, these systems, and these organizations, and then they kind of just leave you astray, what do? You don't have any backup plan. Now, you should always have some sort of backup plan, some sort of, a way out. And honestly, I feel like the majority of people, at least when you become an adult, should have some sort of means to take care of themselves, but I do understand with the financial measures of the current state of the world, current state of society, it's kind of hard to do that, as well as with inflation constantly increasing far faster than the wages are. It's kind of hard when you find yourself at the cash register with only like 2 bags of groceries and your entire monthly food budget is already gone. I've been experiencing this. We're going to actually talk about many people have been skipping meals just to pay bills. I've been doing this. Many people in the comments, I've been reading, you guys have been doing this, and money's just not going as far as it used to, and you're supposed to be able to rely on the people that control all these things, like print the money and like employ the people for these jobs. But at the end of the day, nobody's coming to save us. And if we can't save ourselves, what's going to happen? A revolution? Or we all just going to die out? Or is the future just doomed to be horror? I don't know. Let's just see. I would love to know your guys' thoughts, opinions down below, as well as if you guys are finding yourself just being okay. This is just stuff you see online and you don't really experience it, or if everybody around you is struggling as well as yourself.
About 2 months ago, I stopped eating dinner almost every night of the week so that my boyfriend and I could have enough food left over to have lunch the next day, because I personally need to eat more in the middle of the day to be able to accomplish all that I have to do during the day. By dinner time, nighttime, whatever. If I'm hungry, I can just fall asleep through it. It doesn't really matter. This was before we were about to lose our food stamps. Mind you, we both work. I've worked since I was 14 years old. I have a college degree. But because we have children and because aftercare and before care is too expensive, I've taken a job that's basically minimum wage so that I can be there to pick up my kids. I cannot fathom what we're going to do without that food stamp money, because if I already couldn't eat dinner with that food stamp money. So yeah, I'm glad some of you are happy.
Now, as much as skipping meals to pay bills sounds like an outlandish claim, a lot of people find themselves doing such, as well as I've actually found myself skipping dinner to make sure I can have my meals prepped for lunch for the next couple days, kind of eating less food to make sure your food can stretch throughout the week, because the budget because the food budget, the budget overall is just not really, completing the monthly needs or the weekly needs or the daily momentary needs. And if you're, again, so many people are focusing and they're living moment to moment because there really is no hope for the future. So you find yourself just relying on these means, whether that's food stamps or these gig work jobs, and then there's only so much time, so many side hustles you can do, so much energy you have afoot to actually get all this stuff accomplished. So a lot of adults find themselves either working together, still not being able to pull through. A lot of adults find themselves by themselves in these measures. I found myself in these positions many different times in the past, and if it wasn't for a lot of you guys showing your support through those links down below in the description, and a lot of people don't have people who do that stuff, it's kind of really impossible for many people to get by. So it's kind of a crazy thought process.
You're telling me that most of you think that your time is worth an Andrew Jackson? $20. That's what an hour of your life costs, maybe a Hamilton more, before taxes gutted on the way out. You give them 60 minutes of sweat, stress, and effort, and they hand you this piece of paper that's worth less every month that you wake up. Most of this country doesn't even make that much. Go look it up. The average American isn't clearing 20 an hour. So if you're making 25 or 30 and still struggling to breathe, imagine how people feeding you, bagging your groceries, changing your oil, or ringing up your total are doing right now. How do you think it feels to work every damn day and still not be able to afford to live alone? We're surrounded by people who bust their ass for nothing and still get blamed for not trying hard enough. How can anyone sit back and act like this is normal? You ever watch your direct deposit disappear in real time? Rent, gas, food, gone before you even touch it. That's not a paycheck. That's a refund for your exhaustion. We've been trained to think that hourly pay means fairness, but it's just a leash. They made it digital. They dangled pride on the end of it and called it opportunity. And yet people still brag about it, working 60 to 80 hours to make ends meet. Flexing like surviving is something to celebrate. This isn't pride, it's delusion. Because if the reward for trading hours of your life is barely getting by, then congratulations. You're living proof that the system works exactly as designed.
Now, as much as I hate on the modern day system and I hate on money and how everything works, I definitely don't hate on the working man. I definitely appreciate the, the fulfillment that comes from a hard day's work, as well as, being a grown man myself, or I'm still trying to become one in the most literal sense of the word of the matter. There definitely is some fulfillment in terms of a good hard day's work, whether that's physical labor, mental labor, or just trying to accomplish something towards an end goal that could further society, yourself, or the people around you. Now, I'm not sure if I necessarily believe in legacy, because how often do you think about your great-great-grandfather? I mean, within like 3 generations, your whole legacy will die out. Unless you build like this huge golden temple, like the pyramids, I don't think this is really going to happen. So with all that being said, even like the history books are starting to destroy all those, put it all online. Now they're only going to show you which ones they want. So even leaving your mark on the world, what Disney Channel taught me when I was a kid, seems like some bullshit now. But in terms of everything, do you personally feel like working per hour is a worthwhile scheme when the people that print the money and the people that make these businesses, they don't really work per hour? They either work per job, they work per metrics, they work per amount shipped and made and sold. It's a whole different work. It's a whole different way of economics when you're dealing at this large scale of money. And when it's just us, especially poor people who only have their time to trade, that's why you can trade. That's why when you first apply for a job, when you first become old enough to work, you can only trade your time for these companies. That's all you have to offer for these big organizations, and they kind of get to choose. At least, well, the overall population kind of helps sway this, but really at the end of the day, the company gets to decide how much the new worker gets and how much they raise you over time. It's really kind of up to them. So you personally find yourself sitting in a stagnant position, or do you just... Well, that's going to wrap up this video discussing the lackluster society that we find ourselves living in, and how many people, despite the age, generation, or tax bracket, find themselves struggling right now. If you personally can relate to anything discussed in today's video, or just enjoying my daily dreamer commentaries over here on the page, then don't forget to like, comment your thoughts, opinions down below, and right here on the channel. And I do definitely want to give a huge shout out and a lot of acknowledgement to the few guys checking out those links down below in the description. I have a monetary goal I'm trying to reach by the end of the month. It's only a couple $100, but I'm really struggling to hit it right now, and I'm really behind. So everything helps. I just want to say, as a content creator, all the support, especially people that go above and beyond, goes such a long way. So I definitely want to shout out to a few people that do that. I don't really give shout outs individually. If you guys want that, maybe I can do that in the future, but I don't really know if that's want to be. I don't want my main content to be just surrounding people doing that. But either way, thank you so much for all your support, whether you check out those links down below or not. And I definitely appreciate everybody who just supports, checks out the videos every day, and continues to remain consistent with viewing the content and hanging out with me around here. So a huge shout out to you guys. Hope you guys have been enjoying. That's kind of it for me in this one today. So see you in the next one.